And we welcome you to Louisville Leopard Stadium for this Division 5 Region 17 semifinal matchup between the Poland Seminary Bulldogs and the Manchester Panthers. It's the OHSAA playoffs on your sports network. I'm Matt Romeo, joined by Anthony Malone. A highly anticipated matchup between two teams that like to run the football.
Yeah, when you're talking about it here, Matt, the thing that I think about the most in my eyes is it's the kind of the same coin, one way or the other. One team likes to run the football on by the running back or by the quarterback, and sometimes they'll throw. By the way, I'm not mentioning a single team because both teams do that. We're going to get a very similar matchup between both teams tonight. The difference being one's wearing black, being Manchester, and in the color rush tonight, Poland tonight will be facing off, and they'll be kicking first.
And kind of an oxymoron here is when you talk about fireworks, you're not normally talking about the run game. You're talking about the pass game. We expect to see fireworks out of the run game in this one.
Yeah, when you're looking at this tonight, I mean, it is kind of misting for those that are tuning in right now. If you see a glare, and I do want to also mention, we are running off of cameras from the stadium tonight, so we're going to have a nice display for everybody who's tuning in on ysnlive.com tonight. But for both of these teams, I think you're going to have a very cold game as we go along. You're just going to have to establish, can you keep up with your typical team in this tough matchup where it's going to be a very fast-paced game because we're running the ball so much.
And on that note, 48 degrees, misty here. We see just a little mist coming down. Could get heavier throughout the night. Not sure, but it does make for a solid ground game here.
The thing that I keep pointing to is you're going to see such similar in physique as well as attributes from both of these teams. So it's going to be the defensive line versus the offensive line that we're going to focus on the most tonight whenever I'm talking about this game, because of the simple fact of the matter is, if the defensive line of Poland was able to do what they do last week against a team that loved to run the ball, then I think for that standpoint, we might see that Poland offense and that defense move on to face none other than Canfield South Range or Sugar Creek Airway.
Which defense can step up, stand up to the run, and set the edge and not let anything get outside of them? As Poland wins the toss, the first, the second half, Jace Stefanson tees it up to get this thing set to be underway here on YSN. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to a big game here.
Both teams are already ready to come out of the gate. They ran out of the tunnel. We waited another 3 minutes just for this to get going here.
Manchester's kick return team has been out there for 5 minutes at least, waiting for this thing to get kicked off.
And we're still waiting.
Poland comes into this one at 10-2. Manchester 11-1. Once again, this semifinal matchup here in Region 17. The winner to face the winner of South Range and Garaway. But first, we got 48 minutes to play here to decide that one.
It's like Keel is back to return this. It's already rumbling. We got the press box going.
And here we go. Stefanson's kick lands at the 5-yard line. It's muffed. It's picked back up. Brings it across the 15 to the 20. And he's going to be brought down short of the 25-yard line. About the 24, they'll mark it. And that's where Manchester will start their opening drive.
And the ball might have, there was some contested of the ball towards the end of that there. At the time, it just wasn't caught cleanly. That was number 37 of the offense there. We'll try to get his name later on in tonight's matchup, but he just wasn't able to handle the ball very cleanly, but he was still able to get something positive out of it, move the ball up to close to the 25. It's not the 25 just yet, though.
1st and 10 for the Manchester Panthers coming up. First possession of the game.
Shotgun formation.
Backs on both sides of the quarterback. Single receiver out wide to the right. And this one's going to be a keep by the quarterback. That's going to be number 0, Yaden Sharp. And Yaden gets...
We got a flag thrown right at where the ball was handed off. Kind of see exactly what it is. It's always kind of hard to tell where they threw that, where it might be implied. Okay.
No foul for roughing the passer. That's a roughing the passer call on a run.
Whenever it's a run, technically the quarterback is fair game, but maybe they thought that he was getting ready to pull back a little bit there, and they threw it a little premature at the time. However, he still had the ball no matter the what, so I'm not exactly sure what that call was, but nevertheless, it is a positive gain for the Panthers for about 4 yards.
Speaks to the fake of the quarterback. Had me faked. I think he made 2 play fakes on that one. 2nd and 5 coming up, it looks like,
This is that
for the
thing I was
Panthers.
telling about pulling I formation shotgun, moving to different formations.
Phil Parton in the backfield, dangerous running back, gets the give, and he's brought down for a loss by this Poland defense. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
There's going to be a loss in the play, and that's what we were talking when I was mentioning the defensive line of Poland. This is specifically why. They were able last week to just, as soon as the ball was handed off, to get into the face of whoever had the ball and make a big disruption there, as you can see on the play right here. And that was a big stop and brings up a very quick 3rd and 7 for this team.
3rd and 7, and that's one thing this Poland defense has done all year long. All year long, I like to say swarm and punish. They really swarm to the football and they gang tackle as we approach a 3rd and 7 here for the Panthers.
I'm still trying to get the formation set up here. It's going to be 1 wide receiver, no 2 wide receivers this side.
Ball on the Panthers' 27-yard line. Back to pass, going to roll out to his left. He's going to fire downfield, and Vito Kamara nearly picks it off. Pass intended for number 2.
Kamara had it beat. He had the eyes on that ball the whole time, knew where it was being thrown. It just didn't reel it in. That's the only step that he messed up because he knew where that ball was being thrown and got right to it. But never, hey, get off the field, get your defense off, bring in the punt team, because we have a good chance now for the Poland Bulldogs to get this ball back and make an early score against these Panthers.
And actually an offensive player playing defense there, Malachi Cintron.
So far, they're not showing any punt, and they're going to...
And they will punt out of the... Right you were there. They'll punt out of the shotgun formation there, and that was the quarterback, Yadin Sharp, making the punt there. So good observation there.
Reminds me of the Scottish Hammer back. I mean, he's still playing in New York, but he was always kind of run and gun. You know, let's make it a little bit tricky. And in this occasion, Poland wasn't falling for it. And I don't think, if you're playing it safe, having your deep man works out in that favor. There's very low likelihood they are going to try to run a play. But Poland gets the ball back. Very decent field position at 31.
Vito Kamara was back deep on that one. And that ball landed about the 31, and that's where Poland's going to start their first possession, 1st and 10. They'll come out in the I formation with Pano Zipolidis in the backfield. Kamara, give to Zipolidis, and he's going to rumble his way for a gain of about 4. Pano with a tough run on first.
Yeah, just a good surge there. I mean, he was meant I won't say it at the line of scrimmage. It was going to be at least a positive gain of about a yard or 2, but able to drive his feet and use some of his helpful Bulldog friends, move him a little bit further down the line. And in this case, it's officially a gain of about 3 yards.
So now the brother, David Zipolidis, coming in either at quarterback or running back. They like to run a dual quarterback system. It looks like Vito Kamara, the starting quarterback, is going to move it to running back, and David's going to get the snap here at the shotgun. Shotgun formation, fakes the toss. David Zipolidis spins outside to the left, and he's brought down for a loss of about 1, maybe 2. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Jace Mager just wasn't fooled at all and was able to make some penetration into the backfield of Poland. It's going to be a loss in play, and it brings up for them. Well, looks to be almost identical. Must have had the forward progress. I thought he might have lost a yard there, but hey, 3rd and 7's fine in this occasion.
We talked about how similar both teams are. Similar opening drives here, and we'll see if Poland can convert here on 3rd and 7.
Once you get to week 3 of the playoffs, and in this case, the semifinals of the region, you're going to have a very similar experience from both sides of the teams.
Vito Kamara in the shotgun. He's back to pass, got a guy swinging out right. He's going to keep it, run up the middle. Kamara spins out to the left. He's going to be close to a 1st down, but it looks like he's going to fall about a yard or 2 short.
He's going to be marked down right around the 38, so he's going to be about half of that, need about 4 more to go. Both Zapolidis as well as Kamara with the spin moves.
Right.
Just didn't work out in their favor. They'll have to punt this ball away.
Will officially be a 4th and 3, and no doubt about it, they bring Jay Stefanson on. There wasn't even any thinking about that one, so Jay Stefanson on to punt the ball away.
Livingston will be back to catch this ball.
Clean snap. They got close to it, but he gets the punt away and stopped almost immediately at the 38-yard line. And
yeah, just a moderate gain there. Good job by the special teams of Poland to just get there. Yeah, Livingston can make it kind of tricky here with the way he can run the ball from sideline to sideline. But hey, right in his face, no changes. Brings up however, 1st 10 around the 37. So if we're talking about time of possession and field position, currently the Panthers are leading in that category.
That's exactly what I was thinking here as Yadin Sharp trots on to begin the 2nd possession of the game for the Panthers. First and 10. Shotgun formation back on each side of him. And he's going to give this ball up the middle. It's going to be 32. That's going to be Jace Mauger for the Panthers with a nice gain on first down.
Got the tackle for a loss on second down, gives him a very manageable second down coming up here on offense. It's kind of a delayed reaction from both teams. Almost the offensive line didn't react as much. There was already things in motion happening, and Mauger was able to take advantage of it and get about 8 yards of carry.
It does. It takes about a second or two for that play to get off, but Poland's kind of waiting on their heels for that handoff to happen. 2nd and 2 here for the Panthers. Ball right at the 50, the give up the middle to number 5. He's into the secondary, brought down, and the ball is loose. Does Poland have it? Did they get to it before it went out of bounds?
They did.
They are calling it Poland Bulldog football, so a sudden change in this one. Poland will take over at their own 45-yard line.
We talked about it last week. Special teams penalties as well as turnovers are going to win you the game right now. Knocking on the door, it comes Poland back on offense. There was kind of, at the very beginning of the game, there was a little bit of contested, do I have the ball or not on that kickoff? Well, we have another scenario here, and it's something you're going to have to rely on both teams. It is misting, so a little bit of rain will get on this ball tonight, no matter what.
Phil Parton, the running back, lost the ball there, and Poland takes over with their second possession of the game. This one's given to, looks like Angelo Angelilli, maybe. Yes, Angelo Angelilli get the give, and a loss of 1 on that one.
Jace Mauger with just been a terror so far on defense for the Panthers, and getting into the backfield, getting through his block, and able to make a stop on the play for a loss of 1.
So 2nd and 11 for the Poland Bulldogs here. And Kamara staying at quarterback. He's got a back to each side of him. Receiver out to each side as well. Kamara. A little bit of a delay, back to pass. Throws a screen pass. It's going to be Angelo Angelilli. Going to take it outside. Going to break a tackle, and he's going to be brought down at about the 49-yard line, they'll call it. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Sure, the coach was hoping for a little bit more out of that. This has been one of the better possessions so far when it comes to 3rd and 5 that we've seen all game. Outside of that Mauger run for 8 yards.
That's about 2 or 3 plays total between the both teams. It's just one broken tackle away from a big play.
So what do you dial up here for 5 yards? One of the rare times we've seen them pass in the past 2 games here. I think you stick to it right now.
You might even see Kamara take it himself here as he's got a man in motion. Kamara back to pass. He's going to throw for it, and it's off the hands of Oliver McCulley, and it'll bring up a 4th and 5.
Big target, McCulley. You thought maybe you could get a hand on it there and bring it down, but it does bring up 4th down, and we'll see the punt team come out.
And you talk about the weather conditions here. It is only misting, but it is still misting. And both teams probably not used to these conditions right now. It has been beautiful weather throughout most of the high school football season.
As the season goes along, I mean, we've been waiting for this type of weather all season long to kind of just show its face, but we haven't really seen much of it since week 3. And nevertheless, Livingston will be back to receive this punt. We have everybody lined up. It's finally, I think we have everybody. 12 seconds on the play clock.
Stefanson waits back to punt this thing away. And we got some movement up front.
Motion. It looks like Manchester potentially jumped off sides. Both teams are pointing at each other. But it looks like Manchester the ones that are moving back. They might have to measure this. They're going to say it's against Poland.
So movement on the Bulldogs will mark it, bring it from a 4th and 5 to a 4th and 10. It's the same punting situation here, but you talked about that field position game. We'll see if that has any effect on that.
Yeah, it moves them back a little bit. It gives you a little bit of free range here. I mean, obviously, as we're not NFL punters here, but you do have a little bit more space for the punter to just whip it now.
Livingston making his way back deep. And this one's going to be a nice punt by Stefanson, received at the 30-yard line. Going to bring it across the 34, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's where the Manchester Panthers will take over for their next possession of the game.
6 minutes and about 26 seconds left in our game, so we're moving right along here and about halfway point. Really haven't made and seen what we would call a big play. 8 yards, I guess you could consider it a big play, but we in this short time have not seen a. It's going to be a defensive game if this continues with as we saw with Struthers last week, 3-0 was a victory. Could we potentially see it here?
Absolutely. Could we see that? Or are we just seeing, not to bring up big boxing match tonight, but, a couple of fighters feeling each other out here early on. The give to Parton, and he's going to be brought down for no gain at about the 1. And Poland's defense strong gets the run so far.
Just a pack of dogs that are just using their pursuit angles to get to the ball. And in this occasion, only giving up 1 yard is fine. Not everybody wants to make a tackle for a loss. Everybody wants their name in the paper for such things. But if you're just giving up a yard, you're going to get off the field in 3 plays very quickly.
In this kind of game, it seems like as long as you don't give up the big play, it's a win. So 2nd and 9 upcoming here for the Panthers. Sharp going to keep it himself and try to sneak away to the right side. But that was number 50 for the Bulldogs, Sava Dorenzo, who sniffed that one out.
Medellin was able to come in and just kind of clean it up afterwards just to make sure that nothing else changed. But it does make it a 3rd and 8.
And they had guys bite on the play fake there, and it just seemed like the quarterback, like I said, just kind of sneaked to the right side. Sava was like, no. Bring up a 3rd and 8 here for the Panthers.
Another shotgun. They're very much leaning on the 2 wide receivers to the right.
5:23 to go here in the first quarter. Sharp back to pass. He's going to lob it up the middle. He's got a man, and it is dropped. And that's Jace Mauger, who had room to run after that reception, but couldn't reel it in for the reception.
Yeah, just, he had his hands on it. It was right there. One of those scenarios where, like, does the shoulder pads get involved? Did you lose sight of it for a second in your helmet for a millisecond? Doesn't much matter if it's 4th down now.
So Manchester lining up in that shotgun formation, not necessarily a punt formation, but it does look like they're going to punt this one away. And we got
a whistle here.
A flag on the play here, and it looks like a false start on Manchester.
Bizarre. We saw another false start on 4th down a couple seconds ago from Poland. We're going to do it again here again for Manchester. Very bizarre.
A lot of similarities here so far. Kind of on cue with what we talked about coming into the game.
5:09 still left in this game. So Poland's going to have the ball with some time left. If they're able to get something going, hopefully from the offensive perspective, Coach Pavlansky is able to dial up something that gives them a little bit more cushion, a little bit more comfortability if they punt this ball away, and they do.
And they do punt it away. Vito Kamara waits back. He receives it. He's across the 40 to the 50, making his way to the 40, across the 35 to the 30, and a touchdown saving tackle by Yadin Sharp, the punter, and Poland's going to start in tremendous field position with their next possession.
They needed something going, and in this occasion, Kamara, go to your go-to guy for this. And you could tell Manchester was trying to punt this into the sideline and not get Kamara any type of running lane, but he found his lane of his own and able to keep it out of bounds from going out of bounds. And now we're finally having a team on the other side of the field threatening to go into the red zone against the Panthers.
And what makes Kamara so dangerous as a punt returner is he doesn't think. He just goes out there and plays almost like it's backyard football. Pulling in the I formation on 1st and 10. David Zipolitis in at running back, going to give to Chase Jones his first carry of the ball game. No gain on that one.
Yeah, just good movement by the defensive line. And that's, when we're talking about the line itself, it is a 3-4 defense that we're actually seeing Manchester run here. So it is going to be a little bit different than what we've seen all season long. Very much so from Mahoning Valley standpoint. You're normally seeing 4-down linemen, but we're seeing offensive linebackers playing a defensive end role of some sorts, and they're able to get into the backfield. And there's no gain on that play unfortunately, for Chase.
2nd and 10 upcoming for the Bulldogs. David Zipolitis remains in at quarterback. He's in the gun formation with Chase Jones to his left. Oliver McCulley shifts in motion to the left side. Zipolitis with the roll out to the left, and he's not going to get much. They have that one sniffed out, and another no gainer for the Dogs.
Yeah, just McCulley just missed the block there. It was able to make some move. Unfortunately, Zipolitis just went right into the willing hands of the Panther defender, and there is still no gain here, bring up 3rd down.
So everything Poland throwing at Manchester so far on offense, just not happening right now so far.
I think you have to see what you can do here maybe in a passing formation here, and you're going to see, looks like Kamara coming at Q, right?
3:38 remaining in the first. Poland with 3rd and 10, big down here just outside the red zone. Kamara in a quarterback. He's in the gun. He's going to fake it. He's going to roll out to his left. He's going to try to break a tackle, and he's brought down for a loss. The Panthers bring him down at the 28-yard line, and we'll see what Coach Pavlansky wants to do here, as he's got a pretty good field goal kicker in Jace Stefanson.
Another one by Jace. I mean, we're talking about outside linebackers who are able to stay home and not be fooled by any type of counters. But hey, he makes a big stop there, loss of 3. We're still thinking about it here. And it does look like maybe they try on a false start call here. Maybe try and get the defense to jump off sides. Very tough. You want to get points here, but can Stefanski bring it home? If you want that route, but we're going to try and go for it.
Poland was effective with that hard count last week. It'll be 4th and 13 now. They are going to throw it, and it's going to be up for Maseko. Maseko tries to go up over the defender, but a great defensive play by number 12, Cam Shunley, the defender on that one. He stuck with Maseko, put himself in a great position. Maseko, he tried to go over his shoulders, wasn't happening there.
What a big stand by the Panthers. Had a very tough draw there on special teams, brought them to the 23, never gave up a yard, and still didn't. It's turnover on downs. The Bulldogs will take it back over at the 23, or excuse me, the 26, because of the loss of down.
And what a stand there by Manchester. And you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it was kind of reminding you a little bit of Struthers last week. Just you almost wonder who's going to make the first score. And is that going to be enough?
Whichever defensive line has the most tackles is going to be have the edge.
2:38 remaining here in the first quarter. They give up the middle. That's going to be Parton, and he's going to gain about 5 yards on that one.
And Parton, we were just kind of waiting to call his name. He was such a big factor the whole season for the Panthers. And for Parton, able to get about 5 yards there. Just followed his block. Didn't do anything too stutter-steppy. Just followed his offensive line and was able to get 5 yards. And on first down, it's a fantastic run.
So 2nd and 5 coming up for the Panthers. They'll roll in the I formation with Parton back deep. And they're going to throw a screen pass. Going to be caught at the 30. Going to be across the 30, brought down at about the 38-yard line. And it's going to be enough to move the chains.
Dominic Allen was just ready for that ball as soon as he got it. Used the sideline a little bit to give you that extra inch or 2 of yards. And in this occasion, they get the first down and move it up to the 38.
That might be our first down of the night, actually.
Exactly our first down.
So 1st and 10 upcoming for the Panthers, ball at their own 38-yard line. 1:44 remaining here in the first quarter.
Now, all coaches know it just takes one first down to start a cascading effect for both teams. In this case, back to shotgun.
And the give to number 32 up the middle.
A flag right at the line here. Going to be pointed towards the backfield. We'll see what the call is here.
And that's going to be Mauger on the carry, but we'll see what the call is.
It does look like it's going to go against Manchester. There's a point going on here. There seems to be 2 illegal shift here over by Manchester. So whatever shift they were in.
Legal shift on the offense.
Yep.
5 yards from the previous 5.
So it brings it back about 5 yards. This is what Poland needed.
So it'll take it from a 1st and 10 to a 1st and 15 with 1:26 remaining here in the first quarter. Still no score here at Louisville.
Yeah, you haven't seen them dance around in too many different formations. Seems like they're feeling pretty comfortable in shotgun. This is the first time they even flipped it with 2 wide receivers to the opposite side.
This time to give up the middle. He's got some room. It's going to be Parton. Parton breaks the tackle. Parton's to the 40. He's to the 30. And it's going to be another broken tackle to the 10. Another broken tackle, and he's going to score. It's a touchdown for Phil Parton. What a run. And Phil Parton with an amazing run. Almost Marshawn Lynch-like there for the Manchester Panthers, and the Panthers strike first here.
For Parton, he just kept going. Just move your feet. That's always, if you ever get touched, just keep going. You'll see what happens. And he was able to get a couple of lucky breaks there and keep going and break his way into the end zone from about 67 yards. Extra point upcoming.
Number 31, the kicker. Good snap, good hold, and he puts it up and through. We don't have a name for you for 31, but we're going to get you, we're going to effort that. But Manchester strikes first, and the Panthers lead the Poland Bulldogs 7-0 with 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back on YSN. Back here in Louisville, coming off of a Manchester 67-yard touchdown run by Phil Parton as Manchester kicks this one away, and it's a little squib kick received by Angelo Angelilli. He receives it up at the 20-yard line, and he's going to bring it up to the 40. And that's where Poland will begin their next possession, seeing if they can answer.
That was a deliberate, I'm not going to kick it to Kamara scenario. But the problem is it went right to Angelilli, who is a good running back and has been known to break a couple of tackles and get into the end zone for his team. However, getting out the field position all the way up to the 40, this is incredible field position for the Bulldogs to start out. They only go 60 yards to get into the end zone if they can get it in.
Kind of like picking the lesser of two evils there. Let's kick
kick
it short.
Out of bounds.
Exactly. Yes, that's a great point. So Poland will start off at the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Kamara and a quarterback will get a whistle first before this first play here, and let's see if the officials.
Got a flag.
We have a flag here.
Right at the line of scrimmage. Something's wrong.
And the way Manchester reacted, it looked like it might be against Poland.
There's no foul for substitution.
So no foul called.
Illegal substitution was what they were after, but they called a timeout, and because of that, it negates said issue. So there won't be a penalty here, and we'll take a timeout in the area.
So with 52 seconds left in the first quarter, Poland will take their first time out of the half. And we'll take a break here. Panthers 7, Bulldogs nothing here on YSN. Coming out of the timeout here for the Poland Bulldogs as they begin their next possession here, trying to answer the 67-yard touchdown run by Phil Parton for the Panthers. McCulley.
For McCulley.
Looked like he wanted to go in motion there, but a mental error there coming out of the timeout. Going to make this thing a 1st and 15.
If he would have kept going, they would have allowed it. But the problem was that wasn't what he was doing. He was meant to be pulling so that he could block, and he knew it immediately. If he just would have kept going, however, he would have been out of position. Just would have been very difficult to calm it down. It does lose about 5 yards, though.
Might end up being a 2nd and 15 there instead of 1st and 15. So 1st down to 15. Give DePauno Zipolitis up the middle. He gets a penalty yardage back and then some down at the 48-yard line.
The best way to negate a penalty is to blow right past it and give yourself a gain of about 7 yards. And this occasion was more to the lines of about 8. You would love to have had it in the 1st and 10, though, but 2nd and 7, we're familiar with this territory here. But I think this play right here in the second down is going to really make it very interesting for Poland.
This is a huge drive for Poland here. 2nd and 7, Vito Kamara in at quarterback. Looked like an early start by the Panthers, but nothing called.
There's a fumble, but he was able to get it back. He must have just read it perfectly. Was able to squeeze through. Very aggressive Panther defense. Very much getting involved into the backfield the best they can. As soon as the ball is snapped, trying to rip off their block. That will be the last play of the quarter, though.
And that is officially the end of the first quarter here in Louisville, Ohio. Manchester Panthers 7, Poland Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back on YSN. Ready to begin the second quarter here in Louisville. This semifinal matchup here in Division 5, Region 17. Poland with a 3rd and long, down 7-0 here to the Panthers. Kamara in a quarterback. Got a man in motion. And we might have another mental error here by the Bulldogs.
It's the implosion of the offense when it comes to the cadence here. And I mean, it was already 3rd and 14. Tack on 5 yards. This is a very difficult play now. And for this, they're going to have to switch out the personnel and go for a different passing play. I would assume they would have maybe a pass, but we've seen them run with Kamara in worse scenarios. However, with 19 yards to go, what can you consider now?
And Kamara is a big play threat, so I wouldn't put it out of the question of him running here. What I want to point out is 2 mental errors coming off of timeouts. One off of an actual timeout, the other off the end of the quarter. So it'll be 3rd and long. Kamara's going to roll out to his right. He's got a little bit of room. He cuts up to the inside, and he is brought down. Gets a nice chunk, but it's going to still be a 4th and 11 here at the 39-yard line.
It up to the 39, so he gets almost 9 yards. It's going to be officially marked down about 8 yards into that carry, but brings up 4th and 11. So, I mean, this punt team is going to have to really make a statement here, get this ball boomed into the deep side of the Panthers, and we'll see if they're able to do that.
Stefanski comes on, gets a clean snap, and he will get this punt away. It's going to take a Poland-friendly bounce all the way down to about the 20-yard line, and it will stop itself at the as the Poland player is trying to assist it. It'll make its final stop at the 16-yard line, and that's where Manchester will take over on their own 16.
I'm going to say that the mists helped that a little bit in the air to loosen up the ball of that friction, and just roll its way all the way down to the six. This is exactly what I was talking about. That's what they needed if this is going to be a defensive game for them. They need to play on the opposite side of the field, get an opportunity again to get the ball back in the territory of the Panthers and see if they can get things going. We haven't even seen a first down yet from the Poland Bulldogs, which is not something we've said all season long.
And Poland has forced a turnover. Let's see if they can maybe force another one and get the momentum back on their side.
Back in I formation.
Here come the Panthers, 1st and 10. Give to Parton, who just scored the long touchdown, and he's going to rumble his way through to a nice game.
We're going to see a play finally marked down there. Late. I was wondering why we saw a late whistle, but nevertheless, it does eventually show up. But a good run by Parton, who was able to get about 6 yards in the carry.
So bring up a 2nd and 4.
Just the surge of the offensive line. I don't know if they've decided to kind of, when you're talking about that first series by both teams, it's all scripted. It seems like they're kind of going away from said script.
Shotgun formation, going to fake the screen. They got a man deep. He's open, and he's overthrown. And a break for the Poland Bulldogs as the number 2, Malachi Cintron, had room to run.
He just ran a nice, pretty route, and that's how he got so open. But it had to be the perfect ball, and it had to be the perfect route scenario. It just wasn't in sync completely. The ball was kind of let loose before he was at full acceleration. You could tell that he was just about 2 handfuls away from actually getting that ball. Makes it 3rd and 4. Hey, you needed this if you're Poland. Stop the clock at 10 minutes and 39 seconds.
And now Manchester with a 3rd down and 4 upcoming. They take their first timeout of the first half here. And we will take a timeout as well. Manchester 7, Poland nothing. 10:39 remaining here in the first half. Back here in Louisville, Ohio, the neutral site selected for this semifinal matchup between Poland and Manchester here. Good crowd on hand.
Got 3rd down.
3rd and 4 upcoming for Manchester. As rolls out to his left, and he's going to throw it back to number 10, and that's going to be Gavin Gittelsberger. On the reception there, going to bring up a 4th down. So a nice stand there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, for the Bulldogs, they were just able to get in the face of the quarterback. It slowed and delayed the screen, and everyone else recognized the screen, got over to where the reception was, and that's how it was able to be a loss of the play. It stalled Sharp, and for Sharp's case, he's got to throw that ball in time. Otherwise, the screen pass is not going to work.
And he's going to punt this one away. It's not going to go very far. Going to roll out of bounds at... Going to be in Manchester territory, and Poland's going to start next possession off. Good field position.
Yeah, they just didn't want to punt to him, so they punted it as far away as they possibly could. In this occasion, it didn't go far in terms of distance, but Kamara even had a chance to pick that up if there wasn't a defender there. Ball started off at 45, though, so this is a pretty great field position to start out 1st and 10. Interested to see what we're doing now. We've seen so many 3-and-outs for Poland. Do you switch it up a little bit, go back to something maybe you didn't plan on, maybe your bread and butter here to get things going, get the fire lit?
Let's see if they find a way to open it up a little bit, maybe run a little bit more pass plays here coming up. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're in the I formation. David Zippolitis in a quarterback under center. He's going to fake this one. He's going to roll out to his right. Got a man outside. It is caught for a 1st down. Looks like it's J.J. Fonda to the 34-yard line, and that's going to move the chains for the first time for the Bulldogs.
You just tell they just needed that. The entire stands needed it. The players on the sideline as well as the players on the field, they were just able to calm down. And for Zippolitis' standpoint, he could have just ran with the ball, but he had an open receiver, found him out towards the sidelines, was able to get it in, brings up a 1st and 10.
1st and 10. Poland going quick here. Vito Kamara back in. They're trying to go hard count. Kamara under center. He's got 3 backs in the backfield. It's normally their goal line formation. Kamara going to give it to Angelo Angelilli. He's a bowling ball, and he will make his way for a nice gain of about 6 yards.
I like the idea here. The Panthers are being so aggressive at the line of scrimmage. This is a way for them to kind of calm down, look towards the sideline, and they can't be aggressive, at least in terms of showing what they're about to do right before the snap. And in this occasion, as you saw in replay there, they were able to continue on the next 6 yards here. And this might be what they needed in this formation.
2nd and 4 upcoming for the Bulldogs. Kamara still in. They'll go with the same goal line formation. They're trying that hard count. They want to get them to go offsides. They have been jumping the count, and that's why Poland might be wanting to do this. 2nd and 4. Kamara is going to fake. He's going to roll outside. He's going to make a spin move, and he's got room to run. He's at the 10-5. Touchdown, Dogs. And Poland, that's going to be Vito Kamara with a 28-yard touchdown run. And Poland, an extra point away from equalizing this one.
What a job by Kamara to just get off of his potential tackler in for a loss and get down the field. Everybody else was fooled by the handoff, or the fake handoff, that is. And we'll see the extra point here.
And there was just a little bit of a delay there with a little stumble by Kamara, and the defender was in the backfield with him, just missed the tackle, grabbed onto his ham warmer instead. Good snap, good hold. Stefanson puts it through, and we have ourselves a tie game here in Louisville. Manchester Panthers 7, Poland Bulldogs 7. We'll be back here on YSN, back here in Louisville, Poland, fresh off of a 28-yard touchdown run by Vito Kamara here. 8:41 remaining in the first half. They're set to kick this thing back off to Manchester.
Just as we talked about, we needed a big drive by the Poland Bulldogs. They come away with one. We tie the game up here in the second quarter, eighth quarter. And for the Poland Bulldogs, now with a little bit of momentum that the Manchester Panthers had, now to kick this ball away, though.
And Stefanson's kick going to make its way into the end zone. And the Manchester Panthers will start out their next possession. We got an even ball game here at their own 20-yard line.
And that's the thing. We haven't really seen Stefanson make a kick yet. I mean, outside of the starting of the game, where we saw one of the rare occasions where somebody will try to run the ball, even though he's able to kick it into the end zone. Touchback here, and that's the advantage for Stefanson and the kickoff team.
And you might think with the wet conditions, they might be happy to let that one go into the end zone. So 1st and 10 upcoming for the Panthers.
Just a few misses in that last possession by the Panthers. Less misses here will result in big plays.
Shotgun formation. We got Yadin Sharp in the gun with a back to each side of him. He's going to fake it, and he's going to take it himself up the middle. He's got a decent gain. He's at about the 24-yard line for a gain of about 4.
Yeah, it's just a good job of just letting the play develop. As you can see in replay here, he just found his running room. Looking, it's almost somewhat like a zone play. He was able to find a little bit of running room to the inside corner. Not one of those normal cases where the defensive line, usually the defensive interior, really holds their ground. So in that occasion, he was able to sneak one through and get a guy a gain of about 4 yards.
And they could do so many things out of that formation. They've tried multiple fakes, give it to either back, run up the middle with the quarterback, or screen pass. 2nd down for the Panthers. He's going to look to pass this time. He has got a man, and
it falls incomplete.
It does fall incomplete. Number 32, that's Mauger, and he disguised it very well, but the official was not having it. Rules incomplete. It's going to be a 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers.
Poland with a nice little shift there at the the defensive line. Mess with the minds of the offensive line right before the snap. Able to get into the face. I want to say that was I want to say it's 4. That was McCulley on the nearest side here. Was able to get into the face and just rush that throw just ever so slightly. And in this case, it worked out in their favor, brings up 3rd down.
McCulley, you could tell, just eager to make a play out there.
Yeah, those false starts stick with you as someone who's jumped off sides many a times.
3rd and 6 for the Panthers. That's Sharp outside, rolling out to his right. He's got a man downfield, and he just overthrows him. Once again, that was intended for Blaise Donatelli.
Donatelli. He was open. It had to be right, though. In this case, Sharp just wasn't able to hit him on the run. Goes out. It didn't even have a chance here. It brings up 4th down. And all extensive purposes being that it's about 6 yards, probably going to see a punt. However, in this occasion, are going to be deceptive and maybe go for it here.
You know, one thing I was going to ask you earlier, with this kind of punt formation that they run with, do they fake sometimes? Do we think they will? But he will do a quick punt, and Kamara's there to receive. He catches it at about the 40-yard line, going to break a tackle to the 50. At the 45, he's going to be out of bounds at the 41. We'll see what the flag is.
It's going to be, I think, a player had slipped while he was blocking, and then you can imagine what happened. This jersey slips with him. It's going to be a holding call against Poland. Boy, I'll tell you what, the fact that they're punting that close to the line of scrimmage, there was a very momentary moment where I thought that punt was blocked, but it does go to Kamara in a fast manner, which is not exactly what you want if you're somebody who was on the punt team. When you're trying to get down in coverage, if the punt returner already has the ball and you're nowhere near, that's not great.
You know, it makes you wonder why line up in that formation for a punt, unless you're trying to deceive the defense, the return team, into thinking it might be a fake every single time.
First down.
So it will be a holding call. They'll spot the ball at Poland's own 48-yard line. That's where they'll begin their next possession. Now, Poland's got an opportunity here. Manchester facing a little bit of adversity for the first time in this game.
It's not unfamiliar territory. They were like this last drive, and that last drive resulted in a touchdown. And we will see, however, it looks like Zapolitas starts off.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ippolitas under center. He's got the I formation. Chase Jones, the deep back. He's going to roll out to his right side, and he's going to look for a man. He's got McCulley. McCulley catches the ball, and he's brought down at about the 40-yard line and Manchester territory.
I want to talk about the wide receivers so far for Poland. It's not easy. You're correct. It's not easy to catch a ball that's covered in water. However, if you are disciplined, watching the ball and following your fundamentals, you get a first down like you did from McCulley.
And a true freshman in at quarterback. A true freshman. They don't do red shirts in high school, right? A freshman in at quarterback for the Bulldogs here, rolling out and making that pass instead of running it.
Right back in the wishbone.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. I'll slow it down here for a second. We'll take a breath. We got goal line formation, and they'll give it up the middle. Looks like it's going to be Ricky Madeline this time. He's breaking a tackle. He's loose. He's at the 20, and he's finally brought down at about the 16-yard line. Dogs in business.
As a running back coach, the things I want to talk about, held on the ball with two points of pressure. When he got in the open field, back to the normal, and then when he came back into contact with the Panther, back to it. He held on to the ball, found an opening, got the first down into the Panther territory.
Same formation, give to Madeline. Madeline up the middle, breaking outside. He's got some room. He's at the 5, and he's going to be brought out at about the 4-yard line, and he points the sticks to move the chains. First down.
You can see no huddle. They feel this no huddle is really working for them. It's tiring out the Panthers. They want to run with it right away. And we will see, it looks like a timeout by the Panthers.
And Manchester is going to take their second. They're going to take their second first down or second timeout of the first half here, and we will take a timeout as well. 7-7, Bulldogs threatening in the red zone here. We'll be back with 6:44 remaining in the first half. 6:44 remaining in the first half here. Manchester Panthers 7, Poland Bulldogs 7 here. Poland threatening deep in the red zone at the Manchester 5-yard line. Coming off of a Manchester timeout, they'll have one remaining here the rest of the first half. Bulldogs line up in that goal line formation. 3 backs in the backfield. Give to Pano Zipolitis up the middle, and he gets maybe 2 on that one down to the 3-yard line.
Pano just pushing it forward. Kind of like so something I think is a huge victory. Able to burn a timeout while you're on offense on the opposite team, and now that team only has one timeout for the rest of this half. That's fantastic. That's good offense.
And as you pointed out, Anthony, they were just go. They were no huddle there, trying to keep up that tempo.
I say, it's a 1st and goal right now. Great. First and in this case, second and goal.
The marker, the marker on the sideline says first. About. Yes.
Yeah. The referee stopped it because one side says 1st and goal, the other says 2nd and goal. Now we're good.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. We're going to blame that one on the chain gang there. So we got 2nd and goal. Goal line formation for the Bulldogs. This one's going to be given to Angelo Angelilli. Angelilli patiently makes his way to the end zone as he finds a hole, and it's a touchdown for the Bulldogs. 3 yards for Angelo Angelilli.
I never thought it'd be 2024, and I'm talking about the wishbone being so pivotal for an offense in high school football. However, it's working great here. And I almost, it's going to be Poland Bulldogs and Army Black Knights in college right now are the masters of the wishbone.
I'm telling you, I haven't seen the wishbone in high school since I was, it's been a long time. I'm not going to age myself here, but Stefanson on for the point after. Good hold by Josh Paseko. And Stefanson puts it up and through, and that's going to make it Poland Bulldogs 14, Manchester Panthers 7, 5:57 remaining in the first half. We'll be back on YSN. We are back here in Louisville, Ohio. It is a misty, 47-degree evening. In other words, perfect football weather here in November.
It's getting extra foggy, it feels like, every second we stay here. And in this terms, we might have a pretty foggy game here as we continue on, but not for the Poland Bulldogs on offense. The fog is lifted for them, getting that into the end zone. And how about that for the players who we don't get to talk about as scoring touchdowns that often? We're seeing it right now. Kamara with the first one. We get an unsung hero gets the second one.
Absolutely. Angelo Angelilli's been one of those all season long, just doing the dirty work. Just when his number's called, he gives you 100% as Stefansson's kick sails into the end zone. But, back to Angelo Angelilli, just when his number's called, he's usually the 3 yards in a cloud of dust guy doing the dirty work. But nice to see his name pop up in these scores the last few weeks.
And so another touchback for the Bulldogs and for the Panthers now. Giving up 14 points here in just the second quarter, had the early lead. In fact, we were wondering if it was going to be 3-0 would be the final score of this game. But things have kind of opened up, and we're finding out that both these teams are able to adjust on offense. I want to see what Manchester wants to do.
And to our delight, we are seeing some of those fireworks we pointed to earlier via the ground game. 5:57 remaining. We got
just
some
as we
movement.
mentioned it, I don't know if the right side of the line was just ready and roaring to have that as an opportunity, and it does bring up a false start by the Manchester.
So we will have a 1st and 15 now for Manchester. 5:57 remaining in the first half. Manchester has 1 timeout remaining. Poland with 2.
1st and 15.
And the give to Parton up the middle. And Parton's going to get a gain of about 5. Maybe he's still going.
Awesome job by him to keep his feet moving and got that extra yard. It almost moved it all the way back up to the 23. So a beautiful run there.
And we'll bring up a 2nd and 7. So nice gain on 1st down and get that penalty yardage back and then some.
Hey, if I'm offensive line coach of the Panthers, I'm saying, hey, he's taking a lot of shots there. Can you help him out and push him a little bit there? Won't take so much of that, but it does get a nice chunk of change there, but it brings up 2nd down.
So Phil Parton with a nice game there. Yadin Sharp takes the snap at quarterback. He's going to give to Parton again, and Parton's going to fall just shy of the 25-yard line for a gain of maybe 1.
And Kamara, just as soon as the ball was snapped, untouched. And that's going to happen. You're going to have a player on the defensive side off the edges that are untouched. But Kamara, used his speed, he almost was able to get into the backfield and make that stop as soon as the handoff is made.
So a crucial 3rd and 6 upcoming for the Panthers. I want to point out, Poland did win the coin toss to start the game and deferred the second half. And a play fake here by Sharp. Sharp trying to spin his way outside, and he's brought down for no gain there. And getting all excited, I'm seeing Vinny Tafaro out there, who's the heart and soul of this defense.
And Tafaro, just want to talk about how he broke off his block and made a problem for Sharp. And now 4th and 7, they're not going to go for it here. I would highly doubt it with the score being what it is. But, are we going to see it happen one of these times in an unexpected time frame?
So 4th and 7, we'll keep an eye on it. It was nearly blocked.
It might have been tipped.
Kamara is going to try to spin his way. He does. He breaks a tackle. He's across the 50, runs into his own guy, and he's going to be ultimately tackled at the 46-yard line. And they're going to start once again in Manchester territory.
Kamara and Stefanson just talk to each other. Hey, just hang on for one more block. Technically, Stefanson, I hate to say this, was an assisted tackle there. But Kamara, nice job getting into the Panthers territory all the way up to the 47.
And Kamara, such a tough player. He took a shot on that one. Poland will have it 1st and 10 here, and 4:12 remaining in the half. They're starting 1st and 10 at the Manchester 47-yard line. So good field position. There's going to be enough time for them to get one in here if they can keep moving the ball the way they have.
I think you're also from Coach Pavlansky's perspective, just run your plays. If we got it for 4 minutes, that's fine.
And they're sticking with that wishbone formation. Give to Chase Jones. He's going to try to get it outside. In the process, goes backwards there, and he loses a nice chunk of yards there and back into their own territory now.
As he was attempting to get off the block, as you saw in the replay there, just was unable to find any more running room, and it actually was bringing him back further and further. And that's a loss of 8 yards and a big play by the Panthers.
So Poland will have it 2nd and they'll call it 18 here at their own 45-yard line. And we'll see if they get out of that wishbone formation now.
Bring them out of it.
Back in the I formation. They'll split out Maseko wide to the right. Chase Jones, the deep back. David Zippolitas trying to roll out to his left, and he's not going to have much running room. He's got a pack of Panthers. He's still trying to run it, and the Panthers kind of gang tackle him down at Poland's 48-yard line.
Yeah, Zippolitas just needs to get up, as we say, get downhill fast. He was just kind of extending that play out to the boundary, but it gave the Panthers more time to get closer and closer. And in that occasion, it is a positive gain. However, 3rd and 15, they got a very tough 3rd down upcoming here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kamara come back in a queue.
And I want to give the Panthers some credit here, learning from the last drive and not just letting Poland kind of shove it down their throat with that wishbone formation. It's now going to be 3rd and 15. Let's see if Poland can make a play here as Kamara checks in at quarterback.
The shotgun formation here. Looks like more of a man setup, but we'll see if that's the case. We're going to see a timeout, it looks like.
Coach Pavlansky's going to elect to take his second timeout of the half, so that's going to leave each team with one timeout. 2:31 remaining in the first half. 14-7 Bulldogs. We'll be back on YSN after this. Here in Louisville, Ohio, as the guys to the right of me will enjoy that one. Got the correction on the enunciation of the town here. Beautiful stadium here, by the way. We got 3rd and 15 coming up for the Bulldogs. Kamara, back to pass. Going to look. He's going to throw it deep. Dangerous throw. It is picked off. Panthers have it at the 45. He breaks a tackle across the 50. Josh Maseko trying to, and he'll get him at the 15-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle by Josh Maseko, a hustle play, but not before a pick returned all the way down into the red zone in Poland's territory.
Just a pressure coming on the defense of the Panthers on Kamara, and Kamara threw an errant pass that Donatelli was able to get in front of. Donatelli just moving his way down the field, puts them into the territory of the Bulldogs. And they, now for the Panthers, who have been stalled on offense in a lot of occasions, can't afford to be stalled any further.
So what a momentum change. We're talking about a completely different game here. Poland's driving in Manchester territory. They get the ball to open the second half. Now the Panthers have it to try and tie it before halftime, and suddenly it's a tie game if they score here.
Back in shotgun.
1st and 10 at the 15. Sharp going to fake it. He's looking for the option. He's going to give it to, that's going to be Mauger, and he's not going to get much. It's brought out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Nice job by Peyton Miller. I know that it's going to be an unsung hero scenario here. You see the feathering? He's not willing to just go for the tackle right away. Going to go right between the pitch man and the quarterback, make him make the choice. And then he was in the vicinity of both tackles if it needed to be. In this case, they pitched the ball. It's a loss of 1.
Yeah, and they even got him for a loss of 1 there, as you pointed out there. So it's going to be 2nd and 11. See if Poland can make a stand here in the red zone. Panthers trying to punch one in here before the half. We got 2:09 remaining.
They only got one defensive back out to the side here.
Toss. That's going to be Parton out to the right side. He's across the 20, and he's close. He's going to be brought down at about the 12-yard line inbound. So the clock will continue to run here under 2 minutes remaining.
Cully and Angelilli were able to get to the sideline here, make it for any type of big gain here. It is going to be a gain of about 4 to 5 yards, however, and bring up a very critical 3rd down in this game in the early going.
3rd and 7 here. 1:41 remaining and counting. Bulldogs 14, Panthers 7.
Like we're gonna get the final timeout for the Panthers.
The Panthers are going to take some time to think about this one. While they do that, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back here on YSN. Poland 14, Manchester 7. 35 remaining in the half. Panthers threatening 3rd and 7. Can Poland make a stand here? Can the Panthers keep this drive alive? I formation for the Panthers. Sharp under center. Parton deep in the backfield.
Bringing pressure.
Going to fake it to Parton. And Poland puts the pressure on, and it's nearly picked off. There is a flag on the play.
This might be against, hopefully not for Angelilli, but it's close here. It's a personal foul roughing against the Poland Bulldogs.
So the Panthers catch a break here, and it is indeed a personal foul roughing the passer on the Bulldogs. Going to bring up a fresh set of downs for the Panthers with 1:28 remaining in the half.
Just got to give up on that tackle. I get what you're doing. I used to make statement blocks or tackles myself in those scenarios, but to give them that much distance, and unfortunately for the Poland Bulldogs, they were going to get 4th down, and we're talking about it here. I don't know if there's something to be discussed here about where he was hit or not, but we're going to have a tiny Microsoft Teams meeting right there around the 12-yard line, and we'll see what this call is. And they're still talking about it. Maybe, this can only help Poland right now if they're talking about it right now. It was one of those scenarios where maybe he gave up on the tackle but they threw it, and I was like, all right, we're in the gray area. And that, we'll see here.
Dead ball. Personal
It
foul.
will be.
They hit out of bounds.
They will call it's not roughing the passer. They will call a late hit out of bounds on the Bulldogs. So, like you said, Anthony, just put a little bit of oomph on that tackle to try to make a statement. Maybe didn't hold up there.
It's still going to bring up fourth down, however.
That's an interesting. Usually, a personal foul is a automatic first, but
dead ball, I guess.
so 4th and 1 now, and under center is Sharp and
Yeah, we're going to get a flag here. There was a face mask that happened right at the tackle point. You're trying to make a big play for your team, not thinking about where exactly your hands are. It brings up another personal foul.
so this will end up moving the chains and make it a 1st and goal. 123 remaining in the half.
And it will be a face masking call.
Personal foul, face mask.
I like the aggressiveness of getting your team an opportunity to make a big stop.
68 on defense.
I got to tell you, in the way he grabbed that face mask, that's not easy to do. He came flying across the line and just kind of reached for it.
All 6 foot 255 of Tanya was trying to get into the backfield, and he did. It just didn't make enough, and it makes it a very tough 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
1st and goal at the 2 for the Panthers here. 14-7, Bulldogs up. Panthers trying to score here. 123 remaining in the first half.
And there's having a discussion with the coach here about something on the sideline. And we're good now.
Manchester with no timeouts remaining. Poland with 1.
And they're just getting saving graces, timeouts taken from these penalties.
I formation. Sharp under center. And they're going to give it to Parton. Parton is going to rumble his way in for a touchdown. And it is a 2-yard touchdown run for Phil Parton. Will be his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Panthers are an extra point away from tying this ball game here with 1:17 remaining in the first half.
You know, when you're that close to the end zone, you saw kind of options for Parton found it right around the centers area, and that we will see. Okay, it looked like for just a small second we were seeing a very tight shotgun formation, but it does look like we're going to kick the extra point.
We will see Dragon Lukic on to make the extra point attempt. Sharp gets it down. Good hold. And it is wide left. So this is going to keep it a 14-13 Poland Bulldog League, but nonetheless, a much different game than it could have been after the Poland turnover. The pick by the Panthers bringing it all the way down deep into Poland territory, and then followed up by a 2-yard Phil Parton run. As it is 14-13 Poland Bulldogs here. We'll be back on YSN. Back here in Louisville, Manchester getting ready to kick this one off after a 2-yard Phil Parton touchdown run.
Boy, they're going to think about that extra point all the way through halftime. It's one of those things that's just hard to forget about when the score reflects that. They're going to kick the ball away, however. See a fair catch signal, but nevertheless, it wasn't earned.
And Fonda is going to bring it to about the 40-yard line. Looks like he's going to be pushed out of bounds, and that's where Poland going to start this drive at decent territory.
I could have sworn if you see his hands, but we're not able to capture it on replay. I thought he threw the hand out there. Like I think he was trying to say I got it, but that is dangerously close to a fair catch, right?
They could have easily ruled that a fair catch.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Poland catching a break there, and they'll start at their own 40 here. Decent field position with 1:10 left and a timeout remaining here in the half.
About 60 yards to go. Do you have a play that you can get most of this out of the way early on, and then you can play some very tough run style, but you got one timeout here.
Poland will receive the opening kick of the second half. Chase Jones to give to him. He's going the long way, and he's going to be brought down.
He's inbounds, too.
For a gain of about 2 on that one.
That's actually closer to about a gain of
4.
Yeah. But he's still inbounds. The clock continues to roll here.
So 50 seconds remaining in the first half here. 2nd and 7, they'll call it here. And Poland going to maybe conservative with this one. You don't want to make another turnover here.
See what you can get from Stefanson, too.
2nd down, Kamara rolling out to his right side. He's got a man. He throws to Josh Maseko. Maseko with the catch, and he's going to try to get forward progress out of bounds, and he will get that as the clock stops.
Looks like he did step out of bounds. I was waiting for the signal. Is he close? It's hard from here to tell, but they were able to get a great throw towards the sideline. and they're going to continue to roll the clock here. He did not. They stopped him at forward progress, and they just quickly spiked the ball to stop the clock with 25 seconds.
So they stopped it temporarily to move the chains. At 25 seconds left after they spike the ball on first down, we'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 here
About
for the Bulldogs.
30 seconds to, figure out what play you want to run here, and that's what they're talking about there on the sideline.
And you do have Jace Stefanson as a weapon. Pretty decent kicker. Got a nice leg here. And can you get somebody across the middle and call timeout?
And that's also probably why we're holding on to that timeout here. Maybe you have an opportunity to kick a field goal, and that gives you that extra edge.
And with that timeout, it does allow the middle of the field to be open there. Kamara back to pass. He's going to take a shot deep. And Maseko trying, and there was some contact, but nothing called there. There is a flag by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's
5-yard penalty.
So illegal shift is the
Oh,
call.
never mind, they will keep it. The hand signals threw me off. I thought they were saying decline.
He did have the decline motion, but it is, in fact, going to be an accepted penalty. Going to make it 2nd and 15. So it brings it back 5 yards. In the grand scheme of things, maybe not a bad thing for Poland here.
But stopped here, but you do lose some time.
Ball right at the 50-yard line. Man in motion. Kamara rolling out to his right side. He's got some blockers. He cuts it up. He's trying to get out of bounds. He is trying to spin. He gets the first down, and he's brought down.
What a strong runner. Getting not only the first down, but getting out of bounds. 10 seconds here. You got to go one play here. If you can get a decent gain here. Maybe you got a gain of about 15. What do you think here? Stefanson's long. You got to figure out the best opportunity if you're trying to go for that. Are you going to go for the end zone? This is the opportunity if you're going to go to the end zone. You might want to even just try it here now.
I've seen Stefanson make a 45-yarder on warm-ups. Granted, that was on a nicer day than these conditions here without the miss. Poland now lines up at the 35-yard line of Manchester territory. Kamara back to pass. He's going to run it up the middle. Got some room to run. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 24-yard line, and this is going to be in Jace Stefanson field goal range.
So do you try it? And it looks like we might see it.
So 4 seconds remaining here in the half.
Here he comes.
And here comes Stefanson on
at the time
to try this field goal. Looks like the holder is set up at the 31, which will make this a 41-yard field goal attempt for Stefanson to try to extend Poland's lead going into the halftime.
About 10 seconds on the play clock.
Josh Maseko on the hold here, and we'll get a timeout.
I rarely see the actual special teams that will. I'm not going to say he iced anything, but it felt that way in that scenario.
If anything, it looked like he was trying to maybe take away from the anxiety of trying to get that kickoff before the play clock expired there.
That's only going to help out your kicker here. Some of the scores from around the area brought to you by ysnlive.com. Fitch currently losing against Walsh 35-14. It looks like Gilmore Academy tied with CVCA, better known as Cuyahoga Valley. And JFK currently winning. It's 13-7. Halftime at Springfield and Dalton. Dalton 6, Springfield nothing. Another close one for Springfield. So those are some of the scores from around the area brought to you by ysnlive.com. Looks like Perry is beating Streetsboro 7-0. Trying to find the score if we can get it from the South Range game. Keep that one in mind because the winner of this will either face Garaway or they'll face South Range. And another close game for Ursuline right now as well. Looks like Ursuline is leading, I believe, 6-0.
Okay.
Week 3. All right.
So 4 seconds remaining here in the half. Both teams out of timeouts here, so we should get a play here. And we'll see if Poland can extend their lead going into the break here. Stefanson lines up. It's officially going to be a 41-yard field goal attempt. Josh Maseko on the hold. And we had some movement. Good snap. Good hold, but I think that's going to be
it will be good.
Whistled dead before.
Whistled dead beforehand.
Dead ball. Approachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First.
It's just going to bring him closer. It's not. I understand maybe you're trying to go after the ball.
Fourth
But now he's even closer to than he made that. I mean, we made that kick right then and there, folks. So let's do it with less.
So let me throw this idea at you real quick. Is that maybe an unintentional ice the kicker move there? Hey, they're going to kick it no matter what the situation.
I don't think anything that helps the kicker you don't want to do. In this occasion, 5 yards helps the kicker significantly.
Very good point. So this is going to move this yardage up. Going to be a 36-yard field goal. Maseko on the hold. Good snap. Good hold. And he gets it up and through. It was a knuckler, but Jay Stefanson, the reliable Jay Stefanson, extends Poland's lead 17-13 over the Manchester Panthers as we go into the halftime break. We will be back with the second half here on YSN. We welcome you back to Louisville, Ohio for this semifinal matchup here in Division 5, Region 17. Poland Bulldogs 17, Manchester Panthers 13 as we are moments away here from kicking off the second half of this game. Poland will receive the opening kick here, but we experienced some fireworks in the first half.
Yeah, we all thought at some point, the way that the first quarter was going, that one score was going to play a pretty big role in tonight's matchup. But we saw some very competitive football in the second quarter, making the game 17-13 here in Louisville. And when you're looking at both teams here tonight, and just talking about some statistics, I think there's a very telling element to this that we can talk about here, in the early going.
And we've got Phil Parton leading the charge at running back for the Panthers. 11 rushes for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a highlight Marshawn Lynch-like 67-yard touchdown run.
When most of those yards come off of one play. About 68 yards went into the end zone the hard way, and he earned every inch of that run. But looking at the passing category in that, I think that tells something about what's going on in tonight's game.
David Zipolitis, your passing leaders for each team. David Zipolitis, three attempts, 3 completions, 34 yards. Yadin Sharp, 2 attempts out of 8 attempts, 2 completions, 10 yards. So not much going in the air, but the Panthers have had their opportunities.
We knew this was going to be the case. We knew that they were going to run the ball. Both teams were going to focus in on it, and then whoever leads that category is probably going to come away the victor. But coming out of tonight's game so far, the leading rusher is currently on the Panthers side, which are down 4.
As Conan lines it up, and he's going to kick another one of those in-between kicks. It does hit the hands of the returner. He's going to pick it up, and he's going to be down. Are they going to call him down at his own 2-yard line? They will. And a mistake right off the bat here in the second half. That's Nick Natoli, and it just slipped through the hands.
The young Natoli. We've called Natoli names for so long here at Poland Bulldogs, but just unable to kind of handle that ball. It must have just been extra slippy. And that's the only way I can call it that, because when you're looking at the scenario right now, you're looking at the Poland Bulldogs at the 2-yard line. Maybe this changes things. Maybe you thought you were going to maybe get some extra yardage out of that play, and now knocking on the end zone of their own area in the wishbone.
And a tough kick to field there. Natoli not one to make mistakes, especially as a young guy, but they're backed up against it here as the give to, looks like it's going to be Angelilli, potentially.
Angelilli.
Number 8, Ricky Madeline, correction there. They both look similar. They both got that turf tape on, single digits there, but Ricky Madeline on the carry gets him some breathing room to the 4.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to do anything different still. If your running backs are touching the toes of the end zone, you probably don't want to do too much, and we'll stay with the wishbone.
Kamara under center. He's going to look for another play from coach. 3 backs in the backfield, goal line formation. The give to, once again, to Ricky Madeline. Ricky Madeline ran the ball well in the first half, and he's going to get another chunk and gets them the 9-yard line. They'll need to get to the 12 for a first.
You're at the 2, and you got one guy getting you all the way to the 9-yard line. You got an opportunity here. However, you got 3 yards to go. It's kind of the offensive coordinator's comfort zone is 3rd and 3, because you have a lot of choices that you can go to. However, you're right now we're playing football on the phone booth. We got all 11 guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage playing inside the tackle box.
And when you're at 3rd and 3 here, you're on time, right? You're trying to stay on time with the chains here. And when you get 3-4 yards a pop, that's going to keep you on time here. 3rd and 3, we'll see what they do here. And this one's going to be a give to, it looks like this one's actually going to go to Angelo Angelilli, and he's going to get a first down.
Right.
So a big first down for the Poland Bulldogs to start the second half.
Lilly with a nice job of just finding some running room. And that was one of those things. As soon as he touched the ball, he needed to make a choice here. Either was bouncing it outside or trying to find that line spot that they gave him. And he found one in, able to get into the ends, or excuse me, get the first down all the way up to about the 14-yard line.
It's a fresh set of downs here for the Bulldogs. Negating that mishap here on the kick return. So back in some comfortable field position here, still backed up a little bit. This one's going to be given to, it's going to be Chase Jones. Chase Jones gets a nice chunk, and he gets a gain of about 8 to the 23-yard line.
I'm Coach Pavlansky here. I keep this the whole way down. Draw the clock down to your favor. It's still the third quarter, but use as much of this clock as possible. Don't let the offense of the Panthers take over this game. Rule the clock, and if they're able to get positive yards like that, they're going to get to the end zone very quickly.
So officially a gain of 8 at the 22. It's going to be 2nd and 2. And if you're at home, you're like, 2 o'clock. It's early in the third quarter. But you're also wearing the defense down with those gains via the run. Give to Madeline. Madeline is going to get enough for a first down. It's a modest game, but it's enough to move the chains here. First down for the Bulldogs at 25.
Yeah, you're only trying to find if you have 2 yards, 3 yards to go, just get the first down. Look for some running room. See if you can break one loose. But if you just get the first down, that's what I've been told every time I've gone into a huddle from a coach that wants me to call the play. You go in there, just get you the first down.
And Poland doing a great job to start the second half to set the tone. Just trying to get the game back into their control, and they've got the lead here.
They're controlling the line of scrimmage here with keeping the defense honest by looking towards the sidelines.
Once again, 3 backs in the backfield. Give to Madeline out to the left side. Madeline with a nice gain of about 4 and getting close to the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and about 5.
The lead blockers that are coming out of the backfield on the wishbone are really helping out with the outside linebacker. And if you're an outside linebacker, you have to blow that up immediately. I mean, you have to find a way to bring down those blockers, let the rest of the defense do the job. You want to make the play, sure, but your play right now to help your defense is stop them from blocking and making a move like that you could see just clearly here, even 5 yards.
You could just tell Poland has kind of a mindset, all business mindset coming out here in the second half. Let's get 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's get what we can to stay on time with the chains. Give to Madeline once again, and Madeline's not going to get much on this time, maybe 1 if that.
About 1 or 2 yards.
So they'll officially mark them down. I see an official standing at the 32, so that'll be gain of 2.
Another score from around the area brought to you by ysnlive.com. Dalton 18, Springfield nothing. Last reported in the third quarter.
Officially a 3rd and 3 here coming up for the Poland Bulldogs. 8 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, just underway here in the second half. Kamara's been in at quarterback this entire drive so far, and they've stuck with this goal line, 3 back in the backfield formation here. Kamara under center. Fake to Madeline. He's going to throw it to Pano Zipolias. Pano, can he get around the edge? He's going to try. He cannot, and he's going to be stopped for a gain of about 1. Going to bring up a 4th and 2 at the Bulldogs' own 33-yard line.
Just a big open field tackle there by number 37. That's Evan Kuzmitz, officially listed as an athlete defensive line. Very good job by him to get into the backfield and make something out of that scenario. And we're going to see.
So they officially mark it. It's going to be a 4th and 1. They mark it at the 34-yard line. Poland is going to go for it, at least appear to go for it here. Yeah, so a big play in this one.
This is a good roll the dice scenario. This is an honest yard here. There's no halves, no 3/4.
Kamara trying to go hard count. They will snap it. They'll give it to Angelilli. Angelilli with a second effort pushing his way across the first down to move the chains.
Nice job there, boy. He got contact right at that line of scrimmage. He had to lean forward the best they could and makes that a first down for the Bulldogs.
Initially looked like he was stopped right at the line to gain, but just a second effort pushes his way over for the first down at the 36-yard line.
6 minutes and 35 seconds. We're talking about the time of possession here just to get a first down. Really draining the clock here.
And to your point, Poland's already almost used up half the quarter, and they haven't even made it to the 50 yet.
Oh, another false start penalty from the Poland Bulldogs.
And a false start. Looked like it was Dom Jurich moving a little bit early there for Poland. Going to turn this into a 1st and 15.
If Poland currently with the lead, as you can see it here and now, heading in the third quarter, tomorrow, things stay the way they are and they're moving on potentially. We're going to be talking about this at film study and working on keeping our feet steady, listening to the cadence, staying disciplined.
Poland,
I like the aggressiveness, getting out the ball here, but it's hurting the team right here at 1st and 15.
normally a disciplined football team too, and that one does look like it's going to be another false start. Looked like it may be on Kamara.
Just running out of sync here.
They will call that on Kamara. Looked like he wanted to kind of lean back a little bit early under center, kind of put the cart before the horse there. As we approach 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, 1st and 20. Things were going just perfectly for a while there. Then we run into this, of course, still 1st down. Just need to take up a lot of these yards here.
1st and 20. Ricky Madeline gets the handoff. He's to the outside left side. He gets around the edge and he gets a nice little gain. And we'll see what the flag is going to be. Man, it looked like, I don't know if this is going to be on the offense or defense, Anthony. It looked like he roundhouse kicked him out of bounds.
They're talking about it here.
So Ricky Madeline goes airborne, getting pushed out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, but his leg comes up and almost looked like he roundhouse kicked the defender. And I don't know if you're going to, if that's intentional or not, regardless.
Patrick Swayze on the carry there. And it's going to be a personal foul against Manchester.
So maybe in reaction to that, the defender comes down a little bit hard on him. Out of bounds, and it will go in favor of the Bulldogs, a late hit out of bounds.
So for the Bulldogs, I mean, they get a break here. And so with that, 1st and 10.
So a huge play for the Bulldogs, huge break there. Bulldogs up 17-13, 5:38 remaining here.
Evading the offsetting penalties too.
In the third quarter. 1st and 10. Give to Chase Jones to the left side, and we're going to have
another flag thrown.
A flag.
Scrimmage.
Chase Jones.
I'll see here.
So we've got a hold against the Bulldogs here. Going to be another potential drive staller here for against the Bulldogs.
That's been the penalties. I mean,
number 6.
In case you're just tuning in right now, the biggest thing to kind of note here is this is the first drive. It's already 5 minutes and 32 seconds left in this third quarter, making it now 1st and 21. However, just got to find a way to calm down the team. Whether for the Bulldogs, a lot of them have been these holding calls or we've had false starts.
So 1st and 20, ball at Poland's own 38-yard line here. Kamara in the gun. He's going to fake it. He's going to roll out to his right. Can he get around the edge? He's going to try. He cuts up, and he's brought down hard at the 48-yard line. And Vito Kamara is a tough kid because he bounces right back up and goes right to his coach for the next play.
Yeah, Donatelli with a big hit there right around as you can see there, right around the 48.
So a gain of about 10. It'll bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 here approaching. We're under 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. The Bulldogs have had the ball, as you mentioned, this entire quarter, haven't even reached the 50 yet.
A lot of time to give. Zippolitis now back in at Q.
David Zippolitis under center. 3 backs in the backfield. Give to Madeline. He's getting a lot of touches here. He cuts it up the middle, and he's close to another 1st down. Chunk gain of about 8.
Yeah, he had some options. He could have bounced outside, but he would have had a little bit rougher territory. He cut it upstream, and he had a lot better options. And you could see a gain of about 7 yards here. 3rd and 3. How many times have I said this in just that drive?
Seems like about 3 or 4 times already. And so 3rd and 3. And Poland finally into Manchester territory here. We'll see what they dial up here if they stay in the same formation.
Just thinking about yards per carry here. Why change anything that you're doing the way that things have been going? You got 3 yards? I think they do.
And Madeline, who hasn't gotten many touches per game, is just dominating this drive so far. Zippolitis gives to Madeline once again. He cuts up the middle, and he is going to fall forward for another Poland Bulldog 1st down at the Manchester 41-yard line.
And out comes Zippolitis, or to the sidelines at least. Another 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Looks like he will Well, he's going to go to the coach. It looked like Vito might rotate in for a second. They're going to keep David Zipolitis in there. 3:34 and counting remaining here in the third quarter.
I can already kind of plan my future here. At the end of this game, I'll be talking about the name Madeline.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit.
He has been running hard, breaking tackles. Chase Jones checks in for him in that backfield. Zipolitis under center. Fakes it. He's going to roll out to his left side. He's going to give it to Pano Zipolitis, his brother, and Pano's going to have a nice reception to the 35.
It's the second reception in this game already. I didn't think that Pano would have so many catches, but it's coming from unexpected players in all kinds of categories.
And Pano's got that big Mike Allstott look, as a running back. Wouldn't think he was a receiver out of the backfield.
Just haven't really mentioned it that often. We haven't seen Kamara here for a few plays here. Hopefully he's all right. I think giving him some rest, maybe after the hit, just checking on him real quick. I hope that everything's okay. It's staggering.
He has been standing on the sidelines, alert, trying to come in the game. So hopefully just a break. Chase Jones getting the carry, and it looks like he's close to another Bulldog first down.
It's getting closer and closer. And it is a first down.
They're going to move them chains. 2:26 remaining in the third.
I didn't really call a lot of offense in my short, very, very short coaching career. I'm mainly focused on defense, but this would drive me insane as a defensive coordinator. I can't get the defensive line, who probably plays offense as well, some extra time to themselves to regroup. They have to focus in on defense.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, and you said it, and they are wearing this defense out as in addition to time possession.
Stoppage here.
Looking. Timeout for an equipment.
So an equipment timeout, the officials will call.
Yeah, it looks like a play. One of the offensive linemen came out, and there's an issue with his equipment. I hate to say the word free timeout, but it is technically a free timeout. We've used it before in offense when it actually is appropriate. Obviously.
Gives us a chance to catch our breath a little bit.
Not the unethical way.
Right back at it at 1st and 10, pulling in that goal line formation to give to Pano Zipolitis. He breaks a tackle. He cuts it outside. Hold on to that ball. He is brought down at about the 31-yard line. No gain, maybe a loss of 1. Manchester towards the end of the run there, you see him trying to punch that ball out from behind. Great technique.
Yeah, you see the ball, you attack the ball either by helmet or by hand. And in one of these occasions, Zipolitis was able to hold on to that ball, keep it together. 2 points of pressure. The loss on the play, however, brings up 2nd 11 and only a minute 20 left in the third.
And the grip he had on that football, just great, underrated discipline by Pano Zipolitis there. His brother David Zipolitis checks in the game at quarterback, and stays in the game at quarterback. He's under center in the same formation. 2nd and 11. Give to Madeline. Madeline running hard up the middle.
Great run by Madeline. I want to talk about what he did before the play. You're not going to see it in replay here in a second, but he pointed towards the sideline of Manchester, throwing off the defense, thinking the ball was headed this way. No, it wasn't. It was going the opposite way. Gave them some positive yards. Tough 3rd and 7 coming up, though.
Little mind game being played there, huh?
It's a classic decoy. I always try to mess with the opponent's mind when you're having those scenarios. Tell them that you're leaving even though you're blitzing.
Absolutely. 3rd and 7 here coming up for the Bulldogs. They'll have to snap it before the end of the third here. 31 seconds. They've had the ball the entire third quarter so far. 3rd down. Kamara back in at quarterback. He's going to give it to Madeline. Madeline is up the middle, and he's going to get it to the 25. It's going to be bring up about a 4th and 5 for the Bulldogs. We'll see what they elect to do here.
Stefanson was warming up over there on the sideline for some kicks, and he comes over to the sideline again. We'll see if they want to try this one more time, but they're going to have to do it quickly. That will just be the end of the quarter.
So as we tick down to the end of the third quarter here, a quick third quarter, we'll go to the fourth quarter. Poland Bulldogs 17. Manchester Panthers 13. We'll be back with the fourth here on YSN. Back here in Louisville as we get set to begin the fourth quarter here. Poland Bulldogs 17, Manchester Panthers 13 here. And I just wanted to, before we get into this here in the fourth quarter, just want to say what a beautiful venue this is.
Oh, I've had a great time here. Everyone at state-of-the-art facilities, turf, great stuff here in the press box that we get exposed to. But what you're seeing, the camera angles that you're getting on the field, thank you to Louisville.
David Zipolitis on 4th down. They go for it. He's going to roll out to his right side. Going to try to make a decision, and he's going to be stopped short at the 25-yard line, and Manchester will take over on downs here. 1st and 10 at their own 25.
And just, it's the young freshman that was just trying to find some options for himself, but couldn't find any. It's a turnover here, and you know, if you happen to just be tuning in, you're watching maybe some other games. That was the first drive of the second half that we just saw end with 11 minutes and 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
We'd have to look that one up.
I've rarely seen it, but from a standpoint of was it, you know, did we get nothing out of that? No, you didn't. You lost an entire quarter while you still had the lead.
True. And we'd have to look that up in the record books. Could be the longest drive without scoring points as the give to Parton here up the middle for a gain of about 5 to the 30-yard line.
Just running from sideline to sideline for Parton. He's just finding running room, doing something with very little when it comes to options. Nevertheless, it gives him 5 yards on that carry, brings up second down.
Phil Parton, a very patient runner, and we mentioned it coming out of the half. In the first half, 11 rushes for 95 yards, his first rush there of the second half. So he officially gets 100 on the night, and this is Sharp.
Old Statue of Liberty.
And he's going to be brought down by his jersey right at the first down marker. We'll see if they give it to him.
There was a defender right in his face and just was not fooled, as you see in this return. All it was, it's a counter play. We call the Statue of Liberty because you were heading that way and you handed it off to the other. But nevertheless, it does give them a first down and move it up to the 35. They're really, it feels like they want to stretch the boundaries, not running up down the middle so often. Of course, they've had success doing that, but it seems like there's an initiative right now to really get the ball outside.
So let's see here. 1st and 10 for Manchester at their own 35-yard line. Who's going to answer the call?
Snap.
And it's up the middle. It's Parton who leaps over defender, and he's going to be brought down after another game of 5.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. You can't jump in the high school rule books. It's considered an unsportsmanlike penalty, but and I'm not even want to talk about that. When he finally landed after the jump, he had a defender right in his face and took a little bit of a shot there, but still got 5 yards for the Panthers.
You do take a bit of a risk when you go airborne there on the ground like that. So bring up a 2nd and 5. 10:18 remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Just
Sharp in the gun.
Still staying with the shotgun.
Sharp in the gun with Parton next to him to his left. He's going to give it to Parton up the middle. Oliver McCulley there to make the stop for no gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
McCulley saw it clear as day. He saw number 55, Blaze Johnson, coming his way. He just cut upfield and got right to the ball, as you see right on that play. He completely got past the pulling offensive lineman and got into the face. No gain on the play. Very big 3rd down upcoming.
So clock taking under 10 minutes here in the fourth quarter. 17-13 Poland in the lead right now. Manchester at their own 40 here for a big 3rd down and 5 play. Sharp in the gun. Parton next to him to his left. And he's going to fake it. Stiff arm. He breaks Madeline's tackle, and he's going to be brought down to the outside. A big stop by Vito Camara, the corner, to make that only a gain of 2.
I know that it worked out in Sharp's favor, but Madeline stopped that play from moving forward any faster than allowed a defender to get into the face. Makes this a critical 4th down. This is that time frame that where I'm saying I got to go for it now. So if you think it's going to be a punt, don't worry about it. Let the ball go. We're going to play some football right down the line of scrimmage.
And Poland not even putting someone deep, and they are presenting a go for it formation here instead of that punt formation. They're going to try hard count here. They're going to try it again. 4th and 3. And Manchester elects to take their first time out of the second half. 9:23 remaining in the fourth quarter. Poland 17, Manchester 13. Stick with us on YSM. We'll be right back. Back here in Louisville, coming out of a timeout from Manchester here. They'll have 2 remaining. Poland with all 3 of their timeouts as we get ready for a huge 4th down and 3. Manchester at their own 42 right now. And this is the biggest play of this ball game so far.
I mean, it's just you're down. You need 3 yards. If you're Poland, you need to make a stop here. You're going to get trips right. One of those rare things we haven't said that often tonight.
Trips right.
No tight ends.
Sharp's got Parton to his right. He's going to go back to pass. Got some pressure behind him. He's going to throw it deep. Got a man. It's through the hands of 21. That's going to be Jake Livingston. I don't see any flags, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. And Poland will take over at the Manchester 42-yard line.
Did he have them open? Yes. Is it 4th down? Yes. Those 2 combinations are not great for a long ball throw that you saw a second ago. Gives the ball back to Poland now, even though you had the man open. Get 3 yards.
And there's been a couple occasions where they've had receivers wide open for Manchester, not able to connect. But that time, I'm going to give the credit to Sharp. That was a great throw.
And that's, I mean, for Sharp's just not having it's been a combination of scenarios, but coming into the half or into the third quarter, he was 2 for 8. So things weren't working out in the passing category. Maybe lower down the long throws and find him some inky dinks.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Kamara going to give to Zip. That's going to be Madeline. And Madeline rumbling his way to another first down for the Bulldogs at the 31-yard line.
I didn't have Madeline on my bingo card for being the guy that was going to make the biggest impact in the fourth quarter of round 3 of the playoffs, making Manchester take timeouts.
So we have another timeout. Manchester taking their second one of the second half here with 9:07 remaining in the ball game.
I'm going to show you some of the scores from around the valley and beyond the valley, brought to you by ysnlive.com. Walsh Jesuit, 35, Fitch, 21. Walsh Jesuit, if you remember back, beating Ursuline at the beginning of the season. We know that he's a formidable opponent. Some of the other scores from around the area. Springfield currently losing to Dalton 25-0. Last reported in the 7 minutes and 23 seconds left in that fourth quarter. Aurora currently leading. Some of the other scores from around the area. At that moment, and then, of course, last reported, we have not heard anything since halftime. According to this game, whoever is going to win will play the winner of Garaway and South Range. South Range, last reported, still leading 21-0 at half. Sure, they're out of half. I'm sure the game got even more interesting. We'll try to get a score the best we can.
We'll eagerly await a scoring update from that one for sure. So Poland here coming out of the timeout. So that was the Panthers, once again, second timeout of the second half here. They'll have one remaining for the rest of the way. Poland with all 3 of their timeouts. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, leading 17-13 here in the fourth quarter. Kamara, the fake handoff. He's going to roll out to his right, and he is going to run out of bounds. And let's see where they mark it.
Let's keep him inbounds the best we can to continue the clock, but he wants the yardage here, and the yardage gives him close to about 4 yards.
So officially marked out at the 27 of Manchester there. Going to bring up a 2nd and 6. So gain of 4 on first down there. And you got to think Coach Pavlansky kind of in Vito's ear a little bit. Hey, just get down in bounds.
As long as we're getting some positive yardage here, but if you are already going to get those 4 yards, go down.
Kamara, the give to, it's going to be Chase Jones. He's out to the left side, around the outside, breaks a couple tackles, and he's past the 20. It's going to be enough for a first down. They're going to move them chains.
I mean, full credit to, and we got looks like a Poland Bulldog down. I'm hoping he's all right. They look like they're stretching him out. But I want to take a special moment to talk about Coach Anthony Fuller. Coach Anthony Fuller, running back and head freshman coach. Running back coach has been very critical in tonight's role, and we do have a player down for the Bulldogs. Let's try to get the number when we can.
It does look like it is Chase Jones down. We're going to step away, take a timeout. We'll be back on YSN. Back here in Louisville, Chase Jones, the injured Bulldog, on the play, gets up, walks off under his own power after running for a first down. I should say rumbling his way for a first down as he broke a couple tackles, finally brought down at the 18-yard line. We'll set up 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, 8:52 remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, it's been very tough for any running back to be brought down by one tackle tonight. It's been multiple tacklers have needed to assist in some way to stop this positive yardage. But Poland, 1st and 10 right now at the 18.
And you got to give credit to that 4-headed monster in the backfield of Poland, just running hard, breaking tackles tonight. All 4 of these backs involved.
Get your heart out, Kedora.
Kamara, under center, going to give to Angelo Angelilli on that one. He gets a nice chunk before being brought down. Looks like brought down at about the 15-yard line.
And the clock here continuing to run. Obviously, one timeout left, and they're trying to conserve that one timeout. But the clock, with 8 minutes here, and you need, obviously you're one play away from making this game even more interesting, but Poland in control.
So here's your predicament here if you're Manchester. You need to hold them to a field goal. It's a completely different game if you allow a touchdown here. You hold them to a field goal here, maybe you even misses, but if it's 2013, you at least have a shot.
You're in dire straits one way or the other if they score a touchdown.
2nd and 7, give to Madeline up the middle. Madeline's got room to run. He's going to be close to another Bulldog first down.
And it will be one.
And they're signaling the chains to move. It's going to bring up a 1st and goal for the Poland Bulldogs with 7:40 remaining in this one.
Man, the offensive line. You could see some of those guys are just kind of laboring, trying to, you know.
Boy, that's Dom Urich, number 71. Just
coming up a little ginger.
We've said his name multiple times tonight. He is leaving it all on the field tonight.
I mean, we keep mentioning all the different running backs. That means that the offensive line is doing their job, and it can be anybody back there. No discredit to the running backs. The offensive line is doing an amazing job at the line of scrimmage.
1st and goal, Kamara, watching that play clock, trying to bring it down. And Madeleine's got the carry, and he's going to bring it to about the 4-yard line. They're going to mark it.
Yeah,
so it'll be
in between 4 and 3 here.
2nd and goal from about the 3.5 there.
Knocking on the door with under 7 minutes to play.
And as I said, Poland kind of taking their time as they get to the line of scrimmage. Vito Kamara trying to let that play clock melt down to under 5 seconds before snapping it. 2nd down here for the Dogs. 6:38 remaining and counting. Goal line formation. Vito, give up the middle to Pano. Pano Zipolitas trying to stretch the ball.
Oh, it's going to be short.
They're going to mark him right inside the 1-yard line, so it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the half-yard line.
Man, Dom Urich just willing himself to help out his team here, but taking some hits here. Gets up a little ginger. Hopefully he's okay. Stays in the game. And if I'm Coach Pav, I mean, obviously it's 3rd and 1. You want the touchdown here. Don't be afraid to kind of roll that clock down to about 5 seconds.
They break the huddle with 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. 5:52 on the game clock. Goal line formation, 3rd and goal. Just inside the 1 here for the Bulldogs. Give to Pano Zipolitas. He goes airborne, and he gets in for the Poland Bulldog touchdown to extend the lead. 23-13. So 5:43 remaining in the 4th quarter. Poland Bulldogs 23, Manchester Panthers 13. This is pending an extra point by Jay Stefanson. Miseko in the hold. Stefanson puts it up and through. And we have a 24-13 Poland Bulldog lead over the Manchester Panthers here with 5:43 remaining in regulation here. We'll be back on YSN. Back here in Louisville, Poland coming off of a 1-yard touchdown leap from Pano Zipolitas. Jay Stefanson teeing it up. Manchester going to have something happen here shortly with just under 6 minutes remaining in this one.
You need a big return here. I know that we've been letting it go into the end zone, but it's time to maybe consider some other options here. Give yourself some great field position if you got the returners to do it.
As Stefanson kicks it away, and this one is going to be returned. It's going to be returned by, looks like, number 37. He's going to get across the 25 and be brought down at about the 29-yard line. Looks like that's going to be...
Number 37 is Evan Kuzmits. And Kuzmits called his name a couple of times tonight. He got to the 30. That's what I was talking about. Instead of heading into the end zone, which that ball was heading towards the end zone for sure.
Decent return.
The ball and moved it up a little bit closer. You have a little bit you have only 70 yards instead of 80 yards to go to get in the end zone with 5 minutes and 36 seconds.
And one thing I want to point out is you can be optimistic here if you're Manchester that they can score in a hurry. They've had receivers wide open for long touchdowns, just didn't connect it, whether it's an overthrow or just a drop. But on 1st and 10, Sharp, he's going to roll out. He's going to reverse field. He's going to get to the left side, and he's going to be brought down by Vito Kamara, and we'll see if there's a flag. That was close. That's a close call if you're Poland.
You got forward progress. From a standpoint of like evading tacklers for Sharp as a passer, he hasn't really allowed them to get into the backfield and make a sack yet. and he got some positive yardage there to move it up to about looks to be the 37-yard line. But I like the idea of, as soon as Poland got into the open field with him, wrapping up. If he wants to play this game or we're going to stand upright, that's fine too.
Absolutely. And they'll take a tackle inbounds to milk some clock. 2nd down and 3 now from the 37-yard line. And
whistle thrown here. See what the call is on the field. Now we got a flag last second here, and it's going to go against the Panthers.
Good ball. Substitution. 12 minutes.
And an illegal substitution.
so 12 men in the huddle there is what they'll call, and they'll call it an illegal substitution there. 4:45 remaining in the fourth quarter here. That backs them up to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Just completely almost wiping out Sharp's big run.
So 2nd and 8, 4:34 remaining in the I formation. They're going to throw a screen pass to 21. He's going to get to the 35, maybe to the 36-yard line, and that's about it. Going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3
Livingston
for the Panthers.
Trying to get that extra yard. Got almost back to the original line of scrimmage of that 2nd down, making it 3rd and about 3.
So Jake Livingston trying to make something happen there. And they've been pretty successful throwing the screens. But let's see if they take a shot downfield maybe here.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any deep balls since that Livingston drop, and maybe that's in the back of their minds right now.
3rd and 3, ball to 37. He's going to keep it himself. It's going to be Sharp. He's up the middle. He gets 1st down, spins around, and he's getting to about the 44-yard line.
And it looks like we got not yet, it's a 1st down, but we got a Poland player who's not feeling too great. That looks to be
Yanni Hazmahalis.
I seem to be all right. I guess they're going to keep him in. The head referee was right there, so he made the judgment call that it just was in agony and got up, I guess, and was waiting for him to signal that he needs to go the sidelines, but keeps in the game, keeps the clock rolling.
And on both sides, we're seeing players just hobbling around, and just you love to see the toughness, just playing through injuries because they love being out there playing. Sharp going to roll out to his left on 1st down, and it is going to be nearly picked off by J.J. Fonda there. Great play by the defensive back.
Good job of just finding his way towards the ball, and it does make it 2nd and 10. Had a hand on it. If he just could have got a little bit more, that might have sealed the deal.
2nd and 10 here, 3:15 remaining here. And Manchester with only 1 timeout, Poland with all 3. Poland's not going to want to take any of those right now. 2nd and 10. Sharp in the gun with Parton next to him to his left. Got a man in motion. Going to drop back to pass, and he's going to look for someone. And J.J. Fonda is going to come up with it this time. It's a pick for Poland, and Poland's going to take over and essentially seal the deal on this one.
Nice job on him. He just dialed in from a defensive secondary standpoint. You can see he just broke on the ball, and a nice job to jump the route, gets the ball back to the offense. 3 minutes and 8 seconds. You see some of the Manchester fans starting to head for the exits.
As Poland will take over on the interception there at their own 45-yard line. 3:08 remaining. Panthers can only stop the clock once. Poland up 11. We might be able to start safely talking about the big matchup next week.
Coach Babs trying to get all 11 players out on the field right now, and let's get this going here. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
No penalties on this drive. Let's go home.
Let's cool it with the excitement, and let's finish this one out, huh? As our latest update had South Range.
They have pulled it off, so it will be a rematch. And unfortunately, yeah, as you can see, the clock was getting close to delay a game scenario, and they had to call a timeout, and that's what I was afraid of. They only gave you 25 in that scenario. But kind of just talking, it's 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Did too early start talking about player of the game?
I don't believe so. I think it's time.
Who do you have, Matt?
I'm going to say, and I think this is going to be on your mind too, Ricky Madeline.
I can't help but say it.
He has stepped it up in such a big way. We talk about those unsung heroes. We weren't really expecting this going into this one.
He's not going to be the guy that leads the rushing. He's not going to have a touchdown tonight. But he got 1st downs when at one point there wasn't a 1st down to be had until about the 2nd quarter. So he was, when you're talking about getting something handled and you're getting first downs and draining the clock, I mean, he drained the clock the entire third quarter. So if you own a quarter by yourself almost, that's fantastic. And huge credit to the offensive line. And we've been talking about them taking some hits here tonight. And hopefully everyone can, ices up. And unfortunately, the way the weather's going right now, not going to take much to ice up. But, get everybody ready for next week heading into face the Raiders again.
And credit to Coach Pavlinsky there for Poland. He must have saw something in that first half or made the decision at halftime. We're going to get Madeline more touches here in the second half, and that they did. As Zippolitas brought down for a big loss of about 10.
I'm not sure if Zippolitas had the right play or not. He was trying to, it looked like they were trying to hand the ball off. I saw a running back who normally would, if that was a design play, would have ran forward with the ball. You saw him kind of look back and try to see what's going on with the ball. And unfortunately, it's a big loss there. Makes it now, looks to be second and about 17.
And I'm seeing Dom Urich down there kind of beating himself up. You almost wonder if he missed an assignment there, or he's just still trying to get over that injury from earlier.
And another wishbone. Manchester's trying to get the ball back.
2nd and 17 here. The give to Angelo Angelilli. Tries to get to the outside, cuts it back in, and almost looked like he lost the ball for a second, but he's ruled down at his own 41-yard line with 2:12 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, third down and about 14. So this is not far from over here. I mean, obviously the score telling you that they are up by 11 points. But, if you got to give the ball back to them, they make the calls.
Absolutely.
And you might see them kind of just drain this as far as they possibly can. Now 15 seconds on the play clock.
Manchester can only stop it once more, and you're this deep into the play clock. You're not going to stop it now, so they're going to let Poland go ahead with it. 3rd down and 13 for the Bulldogs, which will likely be a run play here. Angelilli's going to get the carry, or Madeline, rather, is going to get the carry now and be brought down for a loss back to the 36-yard line. With 1:30 remaining and a timeout called by Manchester. That'll be their final one of the evening.
So that'll be the last one.
Last one of the half.
And we will step away and take a timeout here. 1:30 remaining, 24-13. Poland in control here. We'll be back on YSN.
Hi.
Back here in Louisville. 1:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Poland Bulldogs on 4th and 18 are going to punt this one away. Stefansson is going to get it off there and going to be returned by number 21. And he's going to break the tackle and Poland in pursuit across the 30 to 35 and ultimately brought down by number 12. That's Joey Verone on the tackle after that was number 21, Jake Livingston on the punt return. Broke J.J. Fonda's tackle, but ultimately brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Livingston just trying to get something out of nothing here and moves them up a little bit closer up to the 38.
So Manchester will take over here at the 38 with 1:17 remaining and no timeouts. And they're just going to have to take shots down the field at this point, you would think.
Empty set here now with only Sharp back there.
Sharp back to pass. Going to look, going to throw, and he's got Parton, Parton's going to get out of bounds and stop the clock at the 42-yard line.
Flag on the far side.
So Manchester.
And something was wrong with Manchester's offensive setup.
Is that a legal formation?
I believe. Well, it looks like it might be. Oh, it had a player downfield before the ball was thrown.
Ineligible player downfield is the call here, and we'll negate that play and bring the ball back to the 33-yard line of Manchester and make it even longer yardage to get here on first down.
Making about 1st and 15, and same formation setup. Minute 12 left.
1st and 15, Manchester out of timeouts. Sharp going to throw up the middle, and once again, it's through the hands of number 20 this time, who's Trevor Kuzmits. And that unfortunately has just been a theme for Manchester in the pass game.
In the category of passing, we didn't think either team would be throwing that often tonight anyways. Clock now stops at minute 8, but the way that the weather has been, we're coming in tonight, driving up to Louisville. You can see that it was a decent sprinkle. And I thought about it all night. Whoever's going to win the run game is going to win this game.
second down, throws it and in and out of the hands of Livingston and nearly picked off by the Poland Bulldogs defenses. This Manchester team just looks absolutely deflated at this point here as we approach a third down.
I've been there before. You're down 11. You know you got a minute 4 left. You got to run the plays though. You got to keep going. You don't know what's going to happen. But for the Panthers, tough 3rd and 15. You got to look downfield here.
3rd and 15, Sharp back to pass. He's looking. He's going to try to take a shot deep. And Jay Stefanson is going to come down with the interception. And ultimately, that is going to be the ball game with 57 seconds remaining. Poland will officially advance to the regional final to play South Range next week.
Not too often you see the kicker make the seal the deal play on defense.
Absolutely.
But he does in this case, saw the ball airborne, was right there for it, got the interception, and way to go for Stefanson and the Bulldogs.
The do-it-all kicker who also had a 36-yard kick on going into the half to make it 17-13 before ultimately Poland broke it open with that Panos Ippolitas touchdown.
Some of the other scores from around the area. Cuyahoga Heights up against Warren JFK. Cuyahoga Heights 21, Warren JFK 13 with 2 minutes left in the game. It's a great game you can watch on ysnlive.com right now. Walsh with a commanding lead right now against Fitch, 42-28 with 1:18 left. So it seems as though Fitch will fall short of moving on after facing, of course, a very tough team in Walsh Jesuit.
And when you get that ticket, you can get access to any game for that week.
Yep. And for Ursuline, still currently leading with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 29-10. So they'll move on again as well on their end. So a lot of area teams are still around, and we know next week that South Range and Poland. What's the middle of that, Boardman?
That's what I was thinking going into this one.
Not bad. If you're in the area, you can come to the game, or you can watch the game live on ysnlive.com in the area.
Boardman's got a great stadium, and we'll see if they want to host it. If not, it'll no doubt be somewhere else really nice. But best formation in football, if you're Poland, victory formation as Kamara takes a knee, and they'll have to snap it one more time. But, we talk about, unsung heroes. Last week, I would say our unsung hero was Angelo Angelilli, someone that didn't light up the scoreboard during the regular season, but hey, you needed him. He got you. He was successful on the ground. This week it was Ricky Madeline. We talked about player of the game, for him.
There were just 3 different players scored tonight. That changed everything for them and made this a little bit more feasible. Stefanson giving that extra seal the deal field goal in the end. When you look at the final score. But that makes it 24-13, and that'll do it.
One of those efforts by Poland where it just seemed like, and you talk about Ricky Madeline, but everybody played a part in this one. We're seeing different names on our score sheet here. Just a absolute team effort. Both teams faced quite a bit of adversity multiple times in this one, and Poland ends up resilient once again, and they advance to the regional final next week. So with that, we will close up shop here as the scoreboard officially hits triple-digit zeros here. Your final score from Louisville, Ohio, the Poland Seminary Bulldogs 24, the Manchester Panthers 13. And we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us here on Your Sports Network.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.